Hey, Patriots fans! We're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved New England Patriots. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. This way, you'll stay updated and never miss any breaking news or exclusive content. There's a certain buzz that starts to hum before anything official ever happens, and right now that hum around New England feels louder than it has in a long time. People close to the league, voices that love to whisper more than they love to shout, keep circling the same idea. What if the Patriots are quietly preparing something historic at wide receiver? Not a normal upgrade, not a safe move, but a bold, almost cinematic pairing that would instantly change how defenses line up and how fans dream. The names that keep floating into these late-night conversations are A.J. Brown and T. Higgins, and even saying them together feels like tempting fate. In the tone of a YouTuber leaning toward the camera, you can almost hear the disbelief mixed with excitement, because this is not the kind of rumor that comes around every season. This feels like one of those stories that grows legs because it touches a nerve. New England has been searching for an offensive identity that scares opponents again, and suddenly the idea of two dominant, physical, alpha receivers wearing Patriots colors feels dangerously real. No confirmations, no paperwork, just smoke, but sometimes smoke tells you there's a fire being carefully fed behind closed doors. What makes this rumor so compelling is how perfectly the skill sets seem to complement each other when you imagine them on the same field. A.J. Brown is known in league circles as a force of nature, a receiver who turns short throws into violent statements and makes defensive backs question their career choices. T. Higgins, on the other hand, brings that smooth, towering presence, the kind of target that quarterbacks trust when everything breaks down. In hushed conversations, the idea is not that one replaces the other, but that together they create a nightmare geometry for defenses. Picture coordinators staring at film, rewinding plays, trying to decide where to send help, knowing that wherever they cheat, the other side will punish them. From a narrative standpoint, it sounds almost too perfect, which is exactly why fans are leaning in. The Patriots, long associated with disciplined systems and collective effort, might be flirting with star power again. Not in a loud, flashy way, but in that cold, calculated New England style, where the move only makes sense after it already happened and the damage is done. There's also the emotional angle that keeps this speculation alive, the sense that New England wants to remind the league who they are. For years, the Patriots dictated terms, forced others to adapt, and made greatness feel routine. Recently, the conversation has shifted, and that does not sit well in certain rooms at Gillette. Insiders whisper that the front office is tired of half measures, tired of hoping young receivers develop into something special. Bringing in A.J. Brown and T. Higgins together would not be about patience. It would be about declaration. It would be the kind of move that says the rebuild is over before anyone officially announced it began. You can almost hear the YouTube narration rising, pointing out how rare it is for a team to land even one receiver of this caliber, let alone two, and how that alone makes the rumor feel reckless. But reckless rumors are often born from ambitious thinking, and ambition has never been a stranger in New England. Another layer that fuels this speculation is the timing, or rather the feeling of timing without ever naming a moment. The Patriots have flexibility, they have assets, and they have a hunger that comes from being doubted. People around the league love to talk about windows, about when a team should push its chips to the center. The quiet suggestion here is that New England believes its window is opening wider than outsiders think. Pairing Brown and Higgins would not just help a quarterback, it would simplify the entire offense. It would make play calling feel aggressive again, make opposing teams prepare all week just to survive. In Rumorland, this is where the story gets juicy, because it stops being about contracts and logistics and starts being about belief. Do the Patriots believe that this duo could bring fear back into their huddle and doubt into their opponents? Those who whisper yes do so with a smile. From a fan perspective, this kind of rumor spreads because it taps into nostalgia without living in the past. Patriots supporters remember what dominance felt like, but they also understand that the league has changed. Big receivers who can win physically are currency now, and having two of them feels like cheating the system. A.J. Brown brings that relentless edge, that snarl after the catch, while T. Higgins brings calm confidence and clutch reliability. In YouTube-style storytelling, you can imagine cutting between clips, imagining routes that have not been run yet, touchdowns that exist only in the mind. That is the power of speculation. It allows everyone to dream without accountability. And yet, the dream feels grounded enough to keep people talking, because New England has the reputation of pulling off moves that seem impossible until they are done. What truly makes this rumor linger is that it feels strategic rather than impulsive. This is not about selling jerseys or winning headlines, at least not on the surface. The suggestion is that the Patriots see an opportunity to redefine themselves offensively in one sweeping motion. Brown and Higgins together would force defenses into uncomfortable choices, would create space everywhere else, and would change how games are planned against New England. In whispered tones, some say this could be the most significant offensive pairing the franchise has ever assembled at receiver. That kind of statement carries weight, even as pure speculation. And as a YouTuber might say with a knowing grin, sometimes the wildest rumors are the ones that end up making the most sense when you look back and realize the signs were always there. As the speculation deepens, the conversation naturally shifts from whether it could happen to what it would actually mean if it did. Imagining A.J. Brown and T. Higgins lining up together in Patriots uniforms feels like watching a trailer for a movie that has not been officially announced yet. There is a cinematic quality to it, a sense that this pairing would instantly change the tone of every game New England plays. Defenses would not just prepare for a scheme, they would prepare for a battle. Brown's violent running style, combined with Higgins' smooth dominance in contested situations, would stretch coverage both horizontally and vertically, forcing opponents into constant compromise. In YouTube narration fashion, you can almost hear the voice saying that this is how dynasties reinvent themselves, not by copying trends, but by stacking advantages until the field tilts. The rumor suggests that New England wants to tilt the field again, and doing it through the air with two physical monsters would be a bold way to send that message. There's also the locker room dynamic to consider, which adds another layer of intrigue to this rumor. Bringing in one-star receiver can change a room, but bringing in two who are both used to being focal points requires confidence in leadership and culture. The Patriots have always prided themselves on structure, on a system that is bigger than any one name. The whisper here is that the organization believes it can absorb that star power without losing its identity. Brown's intensity and Higgins' quiet confidence could balance each other, creating a competitive environment that lifts everyone around them. In speculative circles, people suggest that this pairing could actually reinforce the Patriots' culture rather than challenge it, because both players are known for work ethic as much as talent. That idea, whether true or not, makes the rumor feel less like fantasy and more like a calculated risk that New England might be willing to take. From a strategic standpoint, the ripple effects of such a move would be enormous. Offensive coordinators would have freedom they have not felt in years, while defensive coordinators would lose sleep trying to find answers. You can imagine YouTube breakdowns pausing film, drawing circles, explaining how coverage simply cannot account for both players without sacrificing something. Run games would benefit, tight ends would find space, and quarterbacks would gain confidence knowing that someone is almost always open, even when covered. The rumor paints a picture of an offense that forces the issue, that stops reacting and starts dictating again. For a franchise built on control and preparation, that kind of offensive leverage is priceless. Even as speculation, it sparks debate about whether this could be the missing piece that accelerates New England back into relevance. Another reason this rumor refuses to die is how it resonates beyond the Patriots fan base. Around the league, rival supporters react with a mix of skepticism and unease. Some dismiss it as wishful thinking, the kind of rumor that thrives in the offseason when imagination runs wild. Others quietly admit that if any organization could pull off something this audacious, it would be New England. That reputation matters. It gives rumors weight before facts ever arrive. In YouTube-style commentary, This is where you lean in and say that respect, even begrudging respect, fuels belief. When opponents start saying they hope it is not true, that is when a rumor starts to feel dangerous. Brown and Higgins together would not just impact the Patriots. They would reshape expectations across the conference. The business side of this speculation also adds intrigue, even without diving into details. The idea is not about exact figures or timelines, but about commitment. Pairing two elite receivers would signal that New England is all in on building an offense that can compete with the league's best. It would tell players around the league that the Patriots are serious about winning now, not just developing for later. In whispered conversations, some suggest that this kind of move could make New England a more attractive destination overall, creating momentum that goes beyond the two names involved. That is how big moves work in theory, and why rumors like this spread so quickly. They're not just about what happens on the field, but about perception, belief, and confidence. Ultimately, whether this historic pairing ever becomes reality or remains a legendary rumor, the fact that it feels plausible says a lot about where the Patriots are mentally. Fans are hungry for something bold. Analysts are hungry for a new storyline, and the league is always watching New England with a mix of curiosity and caution. The idea of A.J. Brown and T. Higgins together in Patriots colors scratches all those itches at once. As a YouTuber might conclude, this is the kind of speculation you enjoy, you debate, you replay in your head, because even if it never happens, it reveals the ambition simmering beneath the surface. And sometimes, ambition is the first step towards something unforgettable. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The rumor continues to evolve in a way only big football fantasies can, growing richer as more people add their own interpretations and expectations. When fans imagine A.J. Brown and T. Higgins together in New England, they're not just picturing catches and routes. They're imagining a shift in gravity around the franchise. Suddenly, conversations change from cautious optimism to bold confidence. The Patriots stop being framed as a team searching for answers and start being discussed as a problem that others must solve. In that sense, this speculation feeds itself because belief is contagious. You hear people say that if one move like this happens, others will follow, that winning energy attracts more winning energy. In a YouTube-style narrative, this is where the storyteller reminds viewers that football is as much psychological as it is tactical. Brown's presence alone demands respect. Higgins' presence alone commands attention, and together they could create an emotional edge before the ball is even snapped. That imagined edge is what keeps this rumor alive, because it speaks to dominance returning not quietly, but unmistakably. There is also a symbolic element to this speculation that should not be ignored. The Patriots have long been associated with efficiency over flash, with results over reputation. Pairing two high-profile receivers would feel like a subtle evolution rather than a betrayal of that identity. The whisper is that New England wants to show it can still adapt without losing its core philosophy. Brown and Higgins are not just highlight machines. They're complete receivers who block, fight for extra yards, and embrace physical football. That fits the Patriots' mold more than people might initially think. In narrative form, this rumor becomes a story about alignment, about stars whose traits match the values of the franchise. That alignment is what makes the speculation feel grounded. Fans start to say this would not be a random splash. It would be a calculated move that looks obvious in hindsight. And that hindsight logic is powerful because it allows people to believe the ending before the story is finished. As the chatter grows louder, the final layer of intrigue is how this potential duo would be remembered if it ever came to life. People already talk about legacy, about how certain combinations define eras. Even as pure rumor, the idea of Brown and Higgins together sparks debates about where they would rank among the great receiver pairings in Patriots history, maybe even league history. That is how quickly imagination escalates when the talent is undeniable. In a YouTube closing tone, This is where you slow down and let the moment breathe, reminding everyone that rumors are the lifeblood of fandom. They give fans permission to dream big, to argue passionately, and to feel connected to something larger than a single play. Whether this historic pairing becomes reality or stays in the realm of speculation, it has already done its job by reigniting excitement. And in New England, excitement paired with ambition has always been a dangerous combination for the rest of the league. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.